Well, I got some coffee grounds for the last 2 days and some starch water to put in the stink water bucket. Let's see if we can do it sort of one-handed without getting soaked. Close to being perfect. There's a little filter here. I'll just throw that in there and just... Alright. So that's our stink water logs there we're working. Check that out. Check that out. That's like a micro-sized avocado. And there's another one right there. Hopefully that means it got pollinated. Wow, look at all the like 500, 1,000 plus heart-shaped nettles mixed in with, what is that, Carolina geranium, maybe some Biden's alba, some wild lettuces, some little tiny bit of goosegrass, and some wild cucumber weed, and one or two other things. We got to be very careful here if we're going to work in this area sometime. I really wanted to work on our, our aged raised wood chip alternative beds today, but we got some rain, it's kind of nasty weather, and the kids are home, so I really need to focus and put some labor, some work into, finishing some stuff up and maybe start working on some new beds. I got some new ideas for that. So look at here. After those frosts and freezes, we do have the papaya. It looks like it sort of is dying down to, about here, to this bud here. Let's see if we can get it to focus. And there's some new leaves coming out if we don't get a bad freeze or anything. Same with this guy here. Yeah, obviously we have some more plant material for our raised bed experiments, because we went to Blue Star Nursery and a few other nurseries the other day. We didn't get a whole lot of stuff, but we definitely got the two main things we were looking for. Yes, the weather is somewhat off-putting, but I probably, if the kids weren't home, I probably would still try to work on these raised beds and stuff, but since they're home and it's the weekend, they're here pretty much every weekend unless we take them out somewhere. And if you checked out the car show video, we were going to try so much more to do a better job than our first car show, to try to get B-roll and everything else. We got like 60 to 70% through the cars, and the kids started throwing the tantrum. They wanted a snow cone or something, and popcorn or whatever they had there. And we weren't through, we weren't finished doing what we were going to do, or they probably would have got one. So before we even hit the motorcycles, which you probably only see video footage of maybe a third of the motorcycles there, it was just over. Mom and Dad were very angry at the kids, and when they're in public, they know that they can throw a fit, because, are you going to discipline your kids in front of people, and they know that. They know you're not going to raise your voice too loud or be more stern enough, I guess. So they got into somebody's dune buggy or whatever they had up there, and they, hollered at by a few people while I was trying to get footage. And there was just such a massive crowd of people there that I couldn't really get footage without just getting a bunch of people in the way of the car. So, I would, really like to get B-roll footage before or after they come to the show, then get them walking around the show and pointing and saying, oh, I like this car the best, I like that. But that did not happen. And then I guess a semi-trailer truck caught on fire, and there was like 5 or 6 big explosions right in front of the car show. And that thing supposedly smoldered all night into the next morning. It was still burning. So I guess no one moved it. I guess they were waiting until it was like completely, the fire was completely out and completely, I guess, cool enough to touch or whatever, before they towed it out or whatever they did with it. So I'm sure that it wasn't just our day that wasn't that great. apparently a semi driver or company just lost their semi. And it probably affected the show. I bet a lot of the vendors and a lot of the people going to look at the cars probably didn't get to really enjoy it as much, especially if they went in there late. Well, maybe third time is the charm with that. Hopefully, I can say, well, I've learned and I know what to do and what people might want to see. Like, I really would have loved to have the time to talk to some of these car owners and at least got information about it so we could put a little tag or something, 1947, this, whatever, a little bit of information about them, but and spent more time kind of getting detail. And I realized that it would probably be a 40-minute to an hour video, most likely, to really get the detail of each car and motorcycle, get that B-roll footage. Again, that goes back to such a large crowd, bumping into somebody as you're doing camera work. They're, weaving in and out of frame. They're talking. So it wasn't something easy. I can only imagine that when you see this on other TV programs when they're doing car shows, they're probably setting up the frame and making sure maybe that if somebody walks by, it's in a way that adds something to the video, and not just a distraction and taking away from those vehicles and motorcycles and stuff. But you guys may also be wondering why we haven't started, done a Wetlands Zone 1 episode 2 or anything. We did a kind of an all-inclusive season 2 of 3 different things, and we included this, but has the raised bed, project taken over our wetlands project? For now, I guess it probably has. It seems to be that way, but a lot of this probably has to do with resources and what's available in the market when we have our funds, our budget set up for stuff like this. So we really do need to come in here and knock a lot of this carbon, these old dead things down, and collect that and make a pathway. And I don't know how we're going to move these trees or something like that. I do want this tree to be cut or moved or something, and maybe a couple other trees, and eventually have a path for Natalie's wheelchair through here. Yes, it's wetlands. Yes, she's in a 500 to 600 pound wheelchair with her weight on it, on little caster wheels or whatever. So they do not make all-terrain wheels for those wheelchairs anymore. You'd have to get an all-terrain vehicle to get in a spongy area, a wet area, or a place like sand where you can just your wheels will turn and just shoot sand out everywhere and dig a hole. But maybe we can figure something out to have a hard asphalt millings or something, just some kind of path where she can get to all these little gardens. Maybe she can't get to every tree or every plant. She may not be able to get to every, orange to pick it off of the tree or whatever, but we need to make it more accessible. All of these, dead weeds and grasses and stuff, and even the tree limbs and all this could, work for making more of the aged wood chip alternative beds, that we can use it for that. We can use a lot of this stuff to expand the banana mounds that we got over there. Anyway, there's not much we can do today. I know this is not very exciting. I'm not planting any plants. I'm not buying any plants. Not picking any fruit today. But, our oldest kid got off on Wednesday, after school, and he's not going back until Tuesday. The other two, I think we're planning to go somewhere on Monday, so I can't even promise you there will be any kind of garden vlog between now and Tuesday. Possible, but anyway, I just figured I would just let you know what's on my mind, and take care.